Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start with this panel session. Could all the speakers please come to the stage? Good afternoon, everyone. Participants, could you please all take your seats at the stage? Manju Lakshmi, could you please also take the stage? We have to start. I'm so sorry we don't have a lot of time. This one is mine.
Dear participants, let's start our session, Islamic fashion, national motifs and accessories. Please take your seats. Уважаемые участники, мы начинаем.
Dear participants, we're studying our passion, Islamic fashion, national motifs and accessories.
Participants of the anniversary 9th International Economic Forum, Russia, Islamic World, Kazan Forum 2024. I'm very happy to welcome you here in Kazan. I am Raja Al-Muhandis, and I'm the director of Ella Foundation in the Netherlands, but I'm also trustee and senior advisor at Caravan Earth in the Netherlands and Qatar. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us, and also to be here with you. During this session, I have a double role, just so you know. I will not only be your moderator, but I will also speak about the following topic: empowering female narrative, women shaping art, faith, and the creative economy. But before, let me first start by introducing the other wonderful experts in their various fields. And we will discuss the topic of our track, Female Perspective, Islamic Fashion, National Motives and Accessories, with our dear guest speakers. We have with us Ms. Thoraya Abdullah Kambar Al-Awadhi. Al-Awadhi. Yes. Okay, yeah. She's the honorary consul for the promotion of Russian artisans and designers in the United Arab Emirates. She's also an ethnic designer. She's a businesswoman. She's a public figure in the United Arab Emirates. We have with us Ms. Vassa from Russia. She's the founder and chief designer of the Russian premium industrial brand Vassa & Co. We have with us Amal Al-Raisi. She's the vice president of the Businesswomen Committee at the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She's an active member of EO MEPA and member of the founding board of directors at Oman Design Association. We also have with us Manju Lakshmi Barathan. She's the CEO of the Qatari-based fashion brand Adima. And we also have some respected experts. They were participants of the Kazan Forum 2023. I would like to introduce you to Ms. Dilyara Sadrieva. She's the regional director of the international non-profit organization Council of Modest Fashion for Russia and the CIS, co-founder of the Modest Russia platform. We also have with us Ms. Sandra Abramovic. She will join us online, and she's the executive director of Dress for Success in Serbia. And we have with us Her Excellency Fotaim Al-Shahi. She's the chair of the Fujairah Businesswomen Committee, member of the board of directors of the Fujairah Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are pleased, they deserve a very, very, very warm applause. We are pleased that leaders from the women's business community and the fashion and creative industry are here from Russia, from the United Arab Emirates, from Oman, from Qatar, India, Serbia, and they will be speaking here during this beautiful session. We will hear their expert opinions firsthand about Islamic fashion in the contemporary industry, national motifs, accessories, and Islamic fashion trends. The possibilities for development in the field of modest fashion and Islamic fashion have no limits. The fashion market is large and very diverse. Each region has its own characteristics and preferences due to historical, cultural, climatic, and social conditions. Women's representation in the arts and creative industries is very strong. In particular, the importance of women's Islamic voices in the art throughout history and now also in the modern world. So now let me go back to my other role of being speaker. And I will speak to you about the following. Let me see if this works. Okay. Esteemed guests of the Kazan Forum, Excellencies, today we embark on a journey that transcends borders and beliefs, exploring the empowering narrative of women shaping art, faith, and the creative community and economy. In a world where diversity and inclusion are paramount, the voices of Muslim women stand out as powerful agents for change. They hold significant economic value and play a crucial role in shaping identity and humanizing a population often marginalized in mainstream media. Today, we delve into the profound impact of Muslim women in these spheres, highlighting their contribution, challenges, and the imperative to support and amplify their voices. As we gather here at Kazan Forum, we have a unique opportunity to celebrate unity and in diversity through the lens of fashion, art, and creativity, fostering cross-cultural and even cross-religious collaboration and understanding. Now let's look at some economic opportunities in modest fashion. And feel free to take pictures. I've added some text so that you can take pictures and maybe, think, whatever I share with you on a later moment. So the global modest fashion industry, estimated to be worth billions of dollars, presents significant economic opportunities for artists, designers, and entrepreneurs. Collaborations between modest fashion brands and mainstream retailers can further expand the reach and impact of modest fashion in the creative industry. However, as the industry grows, it is crucial to prioritize sustainability and ethical practices. It is essential to showcase designers and brands that incorporate sustainability and sustainable materials and production methods, while also promoting fair labor practices and social responsibility. When highlighting Islamic fashion, including national motifs and ornaments or accessories, it is imperative that artistic excellence and depth, as well as ethical and sustainable practices, align with economic focus and growth ambition. True craftsmanship, rooted in local artistic expression, communicates spiritual depth and creative excellence. It also ensures that Islamic values extend beyond mere aesthetics. Now let's look at some market insights. The modest fashion industry offers significant economic opportunities. The global Muslim spend on apparel and footwear, valued at $318 billion in 2022, projected to reach $428 billion dollars by 2027, growing at a compound annual growth rate of 6.1%. And spending in the modest fashion niche specifically increased by 5.7% in 2022, with a forecast to reach $311 billion by 2024. These are amazing numbers, very promising, but we also need to be careful because we have sustainability challenges as well as opportunities. The fashion industry ranks as the second largest polluter worldwide, with many garments produced from unsustainable materials. The rise of fast fashion has exacerbated this issue, producing inexpensive, low-quality clothing rapidly, leading to excessive consumption and waste, as clothes are discarded after minimal use, often after 1 or 2 times wear. Regrettably, numerous prominent fashion brands resort to greenwashing and halal washing even, falsely portraying themselves as ethical and sustainable. These brands overshadow the genuine effort of grassroots innovators who have established businesses focusing on ethical principles, ethical practices, social impact, and values rooted in Islamic and other faith-based principles. These major brands often fail to genuinely connect with or understand the modest fashion market, undermining the hard work of women who have cultivated this space, representing a modern blend of culture, of craftsmanship, and faith. While they adopt the language of empowerment and inclusion, their actions seldom match the effort of the smaller brands, creatives, and artists who are true pioneers. So we must champion and support trailblazers. We must support and champion trailblazing modest fashion brands that uphold sustainability and ethical practices. These women-led brands resonate with the modest fashion community and their distinct needs and values. Supporting them ensures that the movement stays authentic and continues to empower women, fostering positive industry change. Simultaneously, we need to hold larger fashion entities accountable, ensuring their commitment to ethical, sustainable fashion that supports women. This involves establishing and upholding strict standards for what constitutes a modest fashion brand and actively endorsing brands that adhere to these standards. Now I want to go a bit further and look with you at modest fashion and art, because, you know, we discussed the fashion and the creative industry, but as we discussed the broader implications of modest fashion and its impact on the creative economy, it is also essential to highlight specific initiatives that not only embody these values, but also actively promote them. One such initiative is the Modest Fashion, an international phenomenon and art fashion exhibition. It's a project that I had the privilege to create and curate. And with this project, I have witnessed firsthand the power of art and fashion combined to bridge cultural divides and to empower women. This 700 square meters exhibition, displayed for 6 months in a contemporary museum in the Netherlands, served as a platform for showcasing the diverse perspectives and styles of modest fashion from around the world, fostering cross-cultural dialogue and understanding. And through this exhibition, I aim to highlight the intersection of art, fashion, and culture, showcasing the immense potential for growth, collaboration, and impact in the broader creative industry. And by empowering women and providing a platform for their voices and creativity, the exhibition led to greater diversity, inclusivity, and representation in the art and fashion industry. And here are some images I want to share with you of the exhibition and also spin-offs and public programs that I created and realized in 6 months. So 700 square meters with various rooms dedicated to various expressions of modest fashion and art in various mediums, from visual art, audiovisual art, fashion, photography, sculptures, etc. Here are some pictures of public events, from tours, from educational programs, from symposiums. This was, I think, the opening Next to me, you see the Minister of Culture, who had never actually seen a combination of art and fashion in an exhibition. This was amazing. This was the Modest Fashion Weeks in Amsterdam, and I had the opportunity to meet with all these fantastic brands, also from Russia, and that's where I met my dear sister, Dilyara Sadrieva. And what I did was super cool. Actually, we brought the museum to an expo, which was virtual. So you could visit the exhibition in an old school museum through VR and Google Cardboard and Oculus. And so in the other images, you can see what you could see through VR. We had a dedicated adaptation of Reach into book sales to foster knowledge transfer and deepening the theory of modest fashion, and also to promote Muslim artists, female artists. We had community engagement events, a talent platform to ensure that it wasn't just an exhibition, but also we had fashion fairs to engage with the local community and give them a platform. We had lectures, masterclasses, a modest fashion lab for half a year, offering children and students and higher art education students a space to explore modest fashion and the topics in the exhibition. A collaboration with a popular magazine to ensure that we could disseminate the message of modest fashion and art in every supermarket in the country. We also did a symposium, knowledge transfer on an academic level to deepen the knowledge and to create a platform for academic researchers. And, we turned the museum into a concert hall to make sure that it's not just a space for art and fashion, but also that we give fantastic Muslim musicians and singers and even hip-hop artists. This is Mona Haider, a space, to be celebrated and applauded and to share their beautiful music. So in conclusion, the voices of Muslim women in shaping art, faith, and creative economy are not just economically valuable, but also transformative in humanizing and empowering a population often marginalized in mainstream media and in mainstream narratives. By supporting and amplifying their voices, we foster diversity, inclusion, and pave the way for a more equitable and vibrant society where every voice is heard, valued, and celebrated. So let's champion the leadership of Muslim women, recognizing their contribution as essential pillars in shaping a more inclusive and empathetic world. And let us embrace the transformative power of creativity to unite hearts and cultures in a tapestry of shared humanity. And as some takeouts to finalize my speech is that as we navigate the intersection of fashion, art, and creativity, let us seize the moment to build bridges and nurture change makers. Let's cultivate empathy and ethical practices. Let's celebrate the beauty of diversity through art and creative economy. And let us embrace the transformative power of creativity to unite hearts, minds, and cultures. Thank you very much. Now let me go back to my role as moderator. Okay. So, Thoraya, are you ready? Yeah, 1 second. So, women's representation, as we spoke about in the arts and creative industry, it's very strong. In particular, the importance of women's Islamic voices in creative expression and business. And you're going to share with us a very special story about that it's never too late, how a hobby can turn into a business. Thoraya, here's the floor for you.
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Raja, for introducing me. My name is Thoraya Al-Awadi, and I am from the United Arab Emirates, mainly from Dubai. And I am a mother of 7 children and a grandmother also. I believe I entered the business world much later. When I wasn't young when I went and I studied abroad everything and university degree and so on. However, with my 7 children, I believe that a mother should always be there to take care of her kids. And they and the children are the real future of any country. They are the one that they build the civilizations. However, I went into the business much later in life, once my kids, they were much, much older, yani. And now I am into different kind of businesses. Yani I am in real estate, I do exhibitions over the years, and I encourage many small businesses. I bring in my exhibition big businesses and also the small, the SME, the small businesses. I encourage them and I promote them because I believe, yani, you know, at any age in your life, you can do business. Whether you are, inshallah, 80 years old, 90 years old, you can still. I encourage them. Some people, they have beautiful talent in cooking. Some people, they have beautiful talent in fashion. And I encourage them to start from their home, and then I am willing to put them in my exhibition and people get to know them. And over the last few years, I have several ladies, they even, mashallah, opened shops, yani, for their abayas and their jalabiyat and so on and so on. Regarding the fashion industry, for me, I always did beautiful jalabiyas, as you ladies can see. I did it for myself. And then everybody liked it. They said, Soraya, it is so beautiful. Yani, you know, you make nice fabric, nice work of embroidery and so on. So I was doing it also for my family and for my friends and so on. So in the last few years, I got so much encouragement that I said, okay. So I did my fashion show. First one, it was in Tatarstan, like 2 years ago. And then last week, I did one fashion show also in Kazakhstan, in Taras, with the big designer, Haydar Khan. And now I am here to also show you ladies and gentlemen my designs. However, my real advice to any woman that once your children, they are grown up and you don't have anything to do at home, sit down and think, what are you good at? You know, you start from home. You don't have to have a big money to invest in it, because if you want to do it outside, it will be too expensive. So think of what you can do. Start from home, and little by little you can grow and you can become a famous person and you can earn money also. I don't want to take too long because I think I only have 3 minutes. Raja, khalas? Still, I can continue. I don't want to take time from the other ladies, that's why. But anyway, I do believe that, I don't believe in reading from papers and all that. I think when whatever you say, it comes from your heart, it reaches the people. And so I am talking about my own experience. So alhamdulillah, I am now, well, big businesswoman and a very much of a socialite. And I believe that all these beautiful conferences, honestly, all over the world, whenever you go to these conferences, you meet a lot of people, you exchange ideas. And for me, from these conferences, I met a lot of you know, nice people that I stayed friends with them over the years. Therefore, my focus right now, because I noticed one thing, when I did in Tatarstan fashion show, and I saw those beautiful designers, and then also in Kazakhstan, I saw all these beautiful designers from Russia, from different parts of Russia, from Tatarstan, Kazakhstan. I can see that these people, why not? They can become very international. I mean, okay, up to now, we are familiar with Milan and Paris and New York and London and so on. However, nowadays, their fashion is becoming very unusual. Yani, you cannot even wear it unless you are very tall and slim and so on. This is why even for me, for my fashion, I decided that I am making these dresses. First of all, Islamically, it is very decent, it's very nice, and also very elegant. And at the same time, I want my dresses to be worn by beautiful ladies. They don't have to be fashion models. you know, because these dresses can be worn by fat ladies and by thin ladies. And as you can see, I am myself, I'm not a slim person, I am also a heavy person. Therefore, I chose my models every time. I chose these young ladies. They look very nice, and I also choose the older ladies also to do fashion show for me. So I think this is a new trend because I believe when they do the fashion, I want their hair to be open. I want them to come in with the music and to show the dress in a very elegant and very fancy way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thoraya.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
A round
so
of
much.
applause.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your attention. Thank you.
So feedback from participants on Kazan Forum is always very, very important to the forum. The information about the progress of projects announced during the previous forum and realization of agreements of intent and cooperation is essential for Kazan Forum and its progress. We have a video message from Sandra Abramovic. She is Executive Director of Dress for Success in Serbia, and she was a participant of the previous International Economic Forum, Russia, Islamic World, Kazan Forum 2023. Can I please have attention to the screen for her message?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all guests, speakers, participants on Kazan Forum 2024. First of all, I would like to thank you to Organization Committee under Government of Tatarstan to invite me to be speaker online for the second time on Kazan Forum. This is my really pleasure to be with you today. And this is also I'm happy really that I will present under panel of women's perspective from the topic Islamic fashion, accessories and cultural heritage. Thank you very much. Today we will present the Dress for Success organization from Serbia. I'm leading Dress for Success organization in Serbia, and this is the global organization that we empower women to be economically independent. We provide them to find the job, also to support them through educational tools, to be startup, to create, to be women entrepreneurs, and to expanding their businesses globally. Not only locally, but globally. I'm President and Director of Dress for Success United Arab Emirates in Middle East, and this is really my really important role, expanding in Middle East the mission of Dress for Success to empower women. Dress for Success expanding almost in 150 cities and through 30 countries, and we help globally around 2 million women globally. Today we will present our fashion collection that we created for 3 times. We presented fashion collection in Italy, in Europe, and get awards combined fashion collection and social inclusion. Today, I will present promotion of cultural heritage of the archaeological site of small local Paulje region in Serbia that we create motivation of Paulje jewelry from Bronze Age. We have the contract and allowed for museum of cultural heritage in our region to create this Paulje fashion collection in terms of jewelry. This is the initiative brings all together women from rural area, young designer, VIP designer, and also some social sensitive groups that we all together including provide economic support, empowering and networking the women and other sensitive groups, and to address fashion designers, creators, brands, and create fashion inspiration of collection Paulje. Paulje is the local region in Serbia. Also, archaeological methods have found the jewelry dates from the period around 3,500 before New Year's, before Christ, you know. And this is the quantities of jewelry and bronze found by experts during research at the site are unique, important in our country and wider region of the Central Balkans. Through this network and our collaboration and designers and women from rural area and other women, also we gathering together involved in activities to preserve the cultural heritage of the archaeological site and traditional skills and crafts. Through this innovative format, we want to combine to preserve cultural heritage and traditional skills and old crafts and handcrafts on Balkan. And symbols of Paule, as I said, is a really rare symbol. And we found in the area of archaeological sites Paule as a lunar shape, also bronze shape, also from that belongs developed in Bronze Age. People from Bronze Age wear this jewelry, beautiful jewelry, and we are creating motivation with this jewelry. We also have presented this jewelry in our Museum of Applied Art, and really this is a great, huge impact, really, in Serbia. And very most important fashion collection that we presented in Torino, in Italy, that we get awards for fashion collection of Paule and increase public interest in important social issue for social responsibility, sustainability, and tradition of culture of the Balkan region and wider. Really, this is the unique cultural heritage, and thank you very much for my speak. And now you will see photos and slides of fashion collection jewelry of Paule from Bronze Age. Thank you very much. See you next year.
I think these are the, oh, so no mess, so are there images? I don't think you, thank you so much, Sandra. The visual concept of modest fashion is a combination of modesty, modern design, tradition, and convenience, or, you know, elegance, but also it has to be comfortable. In the context of modest fashion, we easily imagine many styles. It can be casual, ethnic, office, romantic, and even sporty. Among our esteemed speakers are the organizers of the fashion show Modest Fashion Day 2024 as part of the Forum Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum 2024, which is to take place on May 18th, which you are all invited to come and visit. So we invite Diana Kilchurina. She's Director of Designer Relations at Moscow Fashion Week. And on, you know, it's the Russian Federation, so it's on a federal level. And she's going to tell us about the abundance and variety of styles in modest fashion. Dear Diana, you have the floor.
Okay, can I start?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have 10 minutes. Yes, you can direct it there.
Okay, thank you. Всем добрый день.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's the great honor for me today to present you a rich and various world of modest fashion. And I'll talk about from the perspective of the organizers of the Modest Fashion Days in Hotel Corsa. In the world where modern tendencies are very open and not modest, in modest fashion is rather an elegancy and satisfying. This is the vision of one of our organizers of Modest Fashion Days, Moda Safi, about modest fashion. He says modest fashion covers a wide range of styles. They always take part in Egypt, in Turkey, and different websites. The modest fashion actually involves a wide range of styles. In her case, it's the tradition, from traditional to modern, from minimalism to extravagant, and also it satisfies a wide variety of tastes and preferences. Elegancy is one of the features of modest fashion. This is the idea of Monica Giuffre's idea. She was inspired by the beauty of national flower, which one of the essence of her collection, and it is captured on her products, and here you can see her collection, examples of her collection, and it will be presented in our Modest Week days as well. So, classical elegancy of this collection connects all positive energy and elegancy, and these beautiful things form the philosophy of this flower that we've been mentioning, and so the designer was inspired by this when making up his collection, her collection. I would also like to tell you about another participant. They present the evening dresses, and one of the participants is from France. She founded her brand in France, Dalinda Paris. It's rather evening images, and so she's famous for being a designer because she takes part in Paris and Cannes and takes part in weeks of mode fashion, and she shared with us and told that she calls her collective Light and Holiday, and it involves different elements of embroidery and also different batik writings. This brand is as well, it is inspiring. She said when she was inspired by traditional Arabic dresses and garments. Melinda Louis is the next brand I'd like to mention from Malaysia. It's also some, national identity, and she thinks of it celebrates diversity in individuality, emphasizing that to be stylish and confident. She also Official Designers Association member and traditional embroidery. They also have collaboration with famous trends, L'Oreal, Levi's as well. Each designer is unique and has his own style. And in context of Modest Fashion Day, one of Russian stylists will take part from Volgograd, Alona Musaeva. She shared modern Muslim women, the progressive woman who lives in comfort, and she represents this by her dresses. This is for short what I would like to mention, which people work on. The participants of these Modest Fashion Days, I will repeat, this will take place on 18th of May. So the other participants you will be able to meet when you come to our events.
Deep respect for beauty and elegance, along with the avoidance of excessively revealing and pretentious clothing, are the key principles guiding Russian and international designers with similar values. The goal of modern Islamic fashion is to reimagine the image of a Muslim woman and adapt it to contemporary realities. We invite the co-founder and chief designer of the Russian premium industrial brand Vasa & Co. To present and demonstrate Russian constructivism as the leitmotif of the Vasa brand, which corresponds to the new aesthetics of modernity in the modest fashion and Islamic world. Dear Vasa, the floor is yours.
I'd like to greet the participants of this forum, and let me talk about myself. Let me introduce myself. Can you hear me well? Great. So I actually Russian by nationality. I studied in international education in the United States, and I started my career there in the USA in international companies, and I got quite enough serious experience in there. So when I was ready to represent my own style, I came back to Russia at the end of the day, and 25 years ago, probably I see many people that came here heard about Vasa and Co. 25 years ago was the first shop opened in Moscow. I'd like to tell you that despite of these 25 years that passed, that we founded a powerful aesthetic platform and aesthetic we rather created a philosophy and made a memorandum that this brand, when you come to the market in Russia, we will be marginalized. Nobody would understand us. But the conception was so powerful and great, translating the origins of minimalism, this Russian constructivism, and in this best practices, excellence practices. This was so vital ideas that very successful and commercially successful. So during this 25 years, we do not give up our style, and the audience, our audience, and those who like us, they prove that what we have created, this product, is so powerful and it's out of time, that I'd like to say that the success of the brand is really obvious because we have survived a lot of crisis moments. And talking about the philosophy and concepts of this brand, first of all, this is the reflection of Russian constructivism in its, let me say, philosophical implementation and revelation and understanding in fashion concept. This is the purity of the lines and the strictness and expression of this new woman image. So talking about how much changed, how many trends changed, we also adapted them, of course, but we tried to be, during these 25 years, we tried to be recognizable, and this also was the reason of our success. And the philosophy of this aesthetics, of Islamic aesthetics, there's very much in common, this elegancy, this classicism, and I would say, as an artist, I'm very much inspired in this, lines in Islamic aesthetics. This is such a good thing to unite us, what we see nowadays, and a lot of things that we have, and among Muslim women who, so to speak, adapt Vasa style in Islamic world, in Islamic understanding of Vasa brand. And today, talking about these, let me say, close aesthetic conceptions, there's so much in common. As an artist, as a designer, I see a wide field for development, and talking about the developing of these brands, I would say, from this perspective of this aesthetics, and promoting in international markets, our brand proves that we didn't invest much money for advertising. We still have commercial success. This proves that we are not crying out about our success, but we have a huge audience behind us, the Vasa audience, which never gave up during these 25 years. You see, when you see who the people who prefer Vasa costumes, Vasa garments, the women who grow up with us, the politicians, women, active women, today they create our modern society. And I would like to say that, shall we promote this culture consciously? We work on to protect our independence and sovereignty, because today a lot of people for 25 years we have been translating a powerful cultural code, and because we have demonstrated a lot in international platforms and presented our stars, and we have done a lot to be able to sell in international markets. I know very well the United States market, so to be there, to be adaptive there, to be able to be demanding and successful, you have to accept their game rules, that market's game rules. But a few times we tried to go there, and we opened a showroom there, and of course a lot of great perspectives and opportunities we have there in the West markets. But we need to play their roles, to follow their roles. Are we designers ready to do that? Those who are ready, that's okay. But those who are not, there are other markets as well. And those markets really are adaptive for this culture. The minimalism, as we have just been mentioning, and this elegancy and decent style, you see, very balanced and very elegant fashion, which today, as I believe, has a great future. And you don't have to follow those rules that they have established to be a designer, to be demanding, to be there in international markets. You have to work on, let me say, so to speak, for the market. Well, for that market, you have to understand very well the rules precisely, because once you do not follow them, they will just, push you out of there. And so today there is, so to speak, well, a lot of markets, and you can find your own independency, and that's how we could promote a lot and help each other. So translating of these classical traditions, this is so much this is a source of inspiration for the artisans, for the designers, and we have proved serious commercial success.
Thank you so much. In today's world, it is important to create interdisciplinary platforms to support creative industries and provide access to funding for arts programs focused on interaction. These initiatives not only promote, develop, and cherish talents and artistic practices, but also encourage the creative economy and cultural exchange. I would like to invite Amal Al-Raisi. She's Vice President of the Businesswomen Committee at the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She's an active member at EO MEPA and member of the founding board of directors at the Oman Design Association, to tell us about ensuring authenticity in modest wear as the market continues to grow. Dear Amal, you have the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very delighted to be here today in front of all of you. I will be sharing my intake on modest fashion, but before I do that, I would like to introduce myself and the brand through simple moments, because I think life is about opportunities, and these opportunities are made of small moments that we should be using. Every moment is an opportunity to start new. These words have been my guiding principle for my brand and life. I believe that you are given so many moments that can change the path of your life, and it is up to you whether you decide to use them or no. When I embarked on the journey of starting my own fashion brand, I never knew what it would ultimately entail. All I knew was that I was presented with this moment, and it was up to me to make use of them to define my journey. I stand here in front of you today to share my journey, broken down into little moments that truly made my brand where it is today. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the year 2006, and I am on the hunt of the perfect wedding dress. I'm extremely fascinated. I'm extremely concerned because the date is nearing, and after visiting several local and international designer stores, I still cannot find what I'm looking for. Either the dresses are just not what I have in mind, or they're too expensive. Tired, I go home and I'm in tears. What am I gonna do? I took this moment and decided to re-strategize. I was going to make my own dress. I don't have fashion background, I come from a business background, and this to me was a very, very big decision and a strategic moment. That wedding dress was loved, admired, and adored by all the attendees at my wedding, and is the path that paved the way for my brand, Amal Al-Raisi. A seemingly ordinary moment led to the start of a brand today that's stocked in luxury retailers like Harvey Nichols and Printemps. Speaking of luxury retailers, I am reminded of another key moment to our brand. About 8 years ago, we were working out from a room of 5 to 6 tailors and embroiderers. We would sell about less than 50 pieces a month. We had also just started getting international orders from the GCC thanks to our top-notch craftsmanship and quality standards. People would come back again and again to us, and they were spreading the word about the brand. However, a surprising email from a huge retailer was unexpected. They wanted to stock the brand in their stores in Kuwait. This was our first ever email from such a big company, and this acknowledgement meant so much to me. But this email was also my breaking point. I should have been jumping with joy, right? Well, let me explain. Although things looked good on the outside, we were having troubles meeting demands. And a huge order would mean more stress on us. How were we going to source fabric, get them delivered on time, start with embroideries of more than 200 pieces, all of this in less than a month? We had a choice. Either we risk the deal by asking for more time and miss out on this lifetime opportunity, or we take this and do our best out of this moment. This was going to be a chaotic, to say at least. We had our own client orders that we had to meet, and we were preparing for a big retailer's order. Another moment, another key decision, and a life-changing for the brand. The team worked through night and day, and we know this was not easy, but after we finally shipped our biggest order, we'd even gotten very, very happy to do that. Amal Al-Raisi is now going to be stocked at a huge luxury retailer stores in Paris, Milan, and London. By now, I had begun to see the pattern in these little moments that were making all the differences. When handed with a challenge, face your fears. Just go for it and smile where it's there. This became my recipe for a life-defining moment, and I was not going to let the moment or the opportunities slip by anyway. Opportunities can come knocking at your door at any time, and one has to be ready to take them. That's sometimes not the case. Sometimes we let our fears control us. My story was when I received a call from a courier saying that there was a parcel for me and that it was supposed to be handled by hand. I was out of town, and I told them that someone from Oman can receive this. When my husband opened the package, he told me it was a letter from Condé Nast. That was a very surprising letter for me to receive. As it turned out, Oman was hosting the upcoming Condé Nast luxury conference, and they wanted to be one of their main speakers. I couldn't believe it because I was a small designer back then. I didn't think I could do this. For me, this was very challenging because I am someone who is not very friendly with public speaking. I fear public speaking, and to me, being part of Condé Nast was... So being a speaker at the Condé Nast stage with big designers like Elie creative directors of some of the biggest design houses, was very challenging. And I was about to say no, but then I remembered that this is an opportunity that can never come back again. So I made sure I take this opportunity. And I have to say, this was one opportunity that opened up the doors to my brand and led to me being available with stocking my brand with retailers and being part of some of the international fashion weeks. Today, the brand is well known, not only in Oman, but also in the GCC. The brand has been talked about in numerous publications, and I have been participating in a couple of fashion weeks. Now, I will be sharing my intake on what modest label is. While analyzing current modest wear brands, I saw myself questioning the authenticity of the label modest. I was asking myself, are these brands living up to their advertisement, or are they just aiming for profit from the growth of this trending market? Are fashion giants simply developing modest wear pieces as token statements for diversity and responsibility? These are all very important questions that must be asked when we approach the topic of the growth of the modest fashion. Large clothing brands like Dolce & Gabbana, ASOS, H&M have expanded their reach to offer Muslim women modest clothing line. The modest fashion industry is worth approximately $318 billion, and the global Islamic fashion industry is estimated to reach about $428 billion by the year 2027, proving it's an especially lucrative market for brands to invest in. Coming to the question of authenticity, this has been long ongoing debate from the early beginnings of the rising of this industry in the West. In the year 2015, one of the huge brands have launched its first ever Ramadan clothing campaign. Now, this was hit with some criticism regarding the commercialization and making sure that they profit from a holy month. The collection was deemed inappropriate for the occasion, improper for the religion, and hyper-focused on small segment of Muslim population, and inconvenient for most Muslim women who were actually not able to buy the collection because the collection was launched very late. Ultimately, this growth must be perceived beyond the fundamentally consumer level, also to encompass how the development has been a huge step forward for representation and acceptance of women in the West. We need to look at both sides of the coin. Previously, the consumer market of modest was centralized in the Middle East, but now look at the Western cities that have become vibrant in innovative spaces for fashion for the modern Muslim woman. For instance, the London Modest Fashion Week aims to tear down the cliché surrounding this type of dress, like the common one that modest wear is not trending. The Fashion Week highlights the beauty of modesty, whilst showcasing some prominent labels for modest designers. My brand, Amal Raisi, was also part of the London Modest Fashion Week back in the year 2017. One of their key aims for the Modest Fashion Week in London was to transition the term modest fashion into just fashion. And this is where I think we should be heading towards when it comes to this industry. Brands should take a moment and make sure that they are not using modesty as token statement of inclusion. It must be genuine and in line with the beliefs of the target market. This is my expectation from the modern industry, that it does not simply commodify modest wear by combining ideology and commercializing it, and instead strive to be more authentic when creating modest wear. And I believe that we are heading into this direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Amal, for this very powerful statement, I think, which resonates very much here. Thank you very much. Our following speaker has established her bridal fashion label, Jill's Manjulakshmi, in 2013. Born and raised in Qatar of Indian descent, her designs are always influenced by handwork, golden detailing, and use of silk and haute couture textiles. She branched into concept wear with Adima, with a vision of creating luxury organic wear for modest women using natural textiles. You have the floor, Manjulakshmi Barathan, and she will speak on sustainability and design features based on Islamic principles. And you have 8 minutes. I'm so sorry that I also have to be technical because, you know, we are limited in time.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you all for being here, and thank you for inviting me onto this amazing Kazan Forum. Thank you, Rajay, for moderating, being a speaker and moderating, and uniting us all together here. Well, as you have learned from here, that I'm the designer and co-founder of my own brand, Adima, which actually influences sustainability into Islamic wear, modest wear, bringing people to understand what is sustainability. So I will just start a little story here. I started as working as a professor in Virginia Commonwealth University in Qatar and US, teaching the students about fashion and textiles. And during my journey, this was maybe 20 years back, when I first came to the class to introduce sustainability, everyone was like, what? What is that word, sustainability? Because no one could relate sustainability, what it is. They used to believe it was just organic fabrics, natural fabrics, or green fabrics. You have to explain it more to them. And during this time, I was invited by the royal families of Qatar to actually design one of their wedding dresses. And that was the time when it took a take on my career as a fashion designer. Because when you are inventing some new dresses, especially customized, we actually sign contracts of luxury that this will not be exposed out. And to one thing which I would say, my first designs could not be exposed out because I was under the contract. And that is when I first launched my label after that, named as Gil's Manjulakshmi, which was relating to today's slow fashion. That is, I would create pieces of fashion relating to art, and it will be 100% customized for the women to wear. Whoever would love to create it from me, I would create it essentially for them, and it will be your bespoke piece. And again, this happened that through my journey, I was teaching again the students, and I asked them, especially when we are teaching in Qatar, because that is the main wear over there is abayas and kaftans. How would you design a kaftan or abaya, again in sustainability? And amazingly and surprisingly, there was very few designers throughout the region who really used fabrics like silks and linen. So this was the time when I co-founded the brand Adima with my co-founder, Haifa Abdul Rahman, who is the director of Qatar Science and Technology Park, and she also works with the ministry. And we found out that if you just say and teach the people, okay, use linen, wear silk, you know, half of you, if I just ask you to eat green vegetables from today, would you eat it? No. Whereas if I invite you to a hotel and I present you in front of you a plate of beautifully dressed up vegetables, you would sit there eating because it's luxury, treated with all the welcoming, interests and beauty. So similarly, we thought that fashion is the only language that can slowly change the perspective of the woman to use natural fabrics. And that's when we founded Adima in 2016, and we were invited for the Mercedes Benz Fashion Week that year itself because we were one of the first brands to create 100% sustainably customized abayas and kaftans for the women of the region. Moreover, I started my research on the fabric linen, and that's when I found out that this is very important for every one of us. That is, linen has a special property to cure and heal cancer. So cancer, of course, everyone knows that it's one of the most faced nowadays things that most of the women do end up with. So in cancer, it has been researched that especially natural fabric like linen has a special property that you wear, and I experienced it because this happened when one of my students in the university was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 18 years old. And after the chemotherapy, I just presented her with some of the, the linen, 100% pure linen garments from Adima. And within 2 days, I got a call from her mother that how she's feeling wearing it, because if you have someone in your family who has undergone chemotherapy, you would understand that it's a highly heat-producing treatment done, and you feel very uncomfortable. And linen has beautiful character to heal your body in coolness. And through lots of test and trial, I am still continuing my research on linen, and we started truly to adopt Adima, not only in Islamic modest wear, but also to include as a healthy lifestyle brand. So this is our stage of our, walkthrough. And in front of you over here are beautiful models, Evelyn and Radela. I would like to invite Evelyn on the stage over here to show one of our concept pieces. So in Adima, every year we come up with new concepts. This is a new concept from our brand. That is one time when I was just through my studio, I saw a lot of scrap fabric. So everyone speaks about sustainability, making sustainable garments. It's not only including fabric of organic nature, but also using something creative to create it. So what you can see, all the designs on the fabric on the front are scraps. Scraps means like small cut pieces which we get from after the production. And we created it in the form of revival motifs from Qatar's heritage, that is the Islamic heritage. So this is one of the ideas, and it's made in pure linen, pure silk. The next model, Radela, she is actually presenting to you the Besht, which is one of the most important costumes of the Islamic world, especially in GCC countries. And we try to include this one with the buildings and culture of Qatar, so that if you can see one she's wearing inside, the white one is a batula. If you know what is a batula, batula comes from Qatar and GCC countries that was used by women. Actually, it is an empowerment because it was like a credibility given to the woman, and she used to do the like married women used to wear it, and even today you can see, if you're visiting Middle East and GCC, you can see a few of the women wearing them. So I just brought that cultural concept onto the board, and both the pieces were created for the Russian Fashion Festival last year in Tatarstan, Bulgar, which was invited by the Minister of Culture of Tatarstan. So this is how we, through Adima, is creating the story of Islamic modest fashion, slowly implementing sustainability, healthy lifestyle, and bringing the people slowly to adapt to it rather than imposing that you have to use it. And I'm happy to be here. And cutting short, I also work with lots of designers in the Middle East, with the New York Fashion Week as director of shows, bringing the Middle East platform, which is our main target, to bring all the modest wear platforms onto the top of the world, especially the New York Fashion Week, to exhibit there. And many, many wonderful designers exhibit in GCC. So I believe that a woman can empower herself and empower others, and that's how I have been in this role for a long time. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for your time, and hope I was not boring. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much being
Thank you
here.
so much, dear Manju Lakshmi. Give her a big round of applause. This is impressive. Thank you so much. Designers' collections feature elegant trouser suits, sports modest style ensembles, evening gowns with gold and silver threads, and floor-length dresses. The use of accessories plays an important role in showcasing national motifs. I now invite Dilyara Sadrieva. She's the regional director of the international nonprofit organization Council of Modest Fashion for Russia and the CIS, and co-founder of the Modest Russia platform, to join. And I think, I would like to start with the question also to connect it with the overall topic of the, of the whole session. And it is, especially as an expert here in this part of the world, dear Dilyara, do you believe that ornamentation serves as a means of expressing social and national positions and possesses a territorial affiliation? Just to go a bit deeper,
Добрый день, я приветствую всех гостей.
Good afternoon, all the participants, dear colleagues, and all the participants. I talk a lot on modest fashion all over the world, and I am a partner and a co-organizer of huge events on Islamic fashion for the last 15 years. And today I'd like to talk about some specific topic which is very little but very important as well. This is the ornament and embroidery as a part of Islamic art, a part of Islamic world. And of course, this is a part of Islamic modest fashion. Okay, national ornament and its meaning in Islamic culture is a symbol of national identity, which is to promote and tell one nation from another. A unique ornament represents specific culture and history of the ornament. This is not just an elegant part. This is also a way to express political, social, and cultural positions in the modern world, in the global world and the cross-cultural world, which is just, like a rocketing development. The national ornament is a way to express national identity, the meaning, and all of that kind. Actually, you don't quite understand how come that the society can express its own uniqueness different from the West, because today we all have become consumers of a global fashion, and all of the nations more or less try to come back to their roots and to underline their own fashion styles by means of dress as well. Of course, we cannot compete with the West fashion and all the others, so the values as well, which have been translating through that fashion. But if we want to keep something very well, to understand the meaning which have been established from the very beginning and formed by Islam and have been reflected in the embroidery, well, I will not take much time to some cultural excursion. This is another story, but this is another platform. But I like to just touch this issue just a little bit, and then I will demonstrate how different designers work and how they interpret national works, because we're talking about on Islamic fashion, and so ornament in Islamic, because this was formed by Islamic influence. Let's see how modern designers work with this material. Well, thank you. Okay. Well, let me tell that the Islamic ornament is a very deep, symbolic, and sacramental meaning. And once you use it, once someone uses it, those who work with the Islamic society or just want to use this, you have to understand that each ornament has its own meaning. Sometimes maybe you don't even pay much attention to that, but in Kazan Expo, once you were coming here to this plot, there is a logo which there is a tulip and lily, and these tulip and lily flowers have sacramental meaning, which means the Almighty. So practically they use lily or tulip representing your own national or social position. Well, the scarf, this is a headwear originally from Iraq, and it is famous for a tragic event that has been happening in Palestine. It's sort of an ornament, but it became a very important symbol, which just not just a headwear, but it's a symbol of expression of the fight and solidarity against the suppression of those who fight for their freedom. And I could not mention this while talking on this topic of ornaments. Besides, of course, it has been used in global fashion as well. Sometimes even it's being exploited, this image. But once again, these tragic events that took place, many designers just tried to express their solidarity with that and use this symbol. For example, one of the Indonesian designers has been using this image for many years to not let this be forgotten, and to understand the problem in this particular region. Many people sustain it in developing this by different ways. Some create different collections. These are Russian designers who are not indifferent to this subject, who are not indifferent, and they showed their particular image in social networks, and they prepared their own merch to support those people. In Moscow, in December, we also had an event to support this wound, because from the very beginning, the collection of this famous modest fashion was not from the very beginning dedicated to Palestine, but once it was the show, the demonstration, we decided to dedicate it, and all the collection we turned it into black to express those who were, to express our solidarity with the victims, and many people just stood up and cried and tried to help this situation. Of course, many people just spoil it. Sometimes they make it, commercialize it, and cook this headwear. They use it to sell, playing the feelings of the people. Well, anyway, you can express your support by different ways, because the Vogue journal, they didn't try to just say that this is solidarity. And they tried to express all those who died in Vogue in the picture, and they tried to express traditional Palestine embroidery, the ornament which has been involved in UNESCO list. Now I'd like to turn into some ornaments which brands work with, because ornaments has become the main instrument when people started to turn into their roots. We saw a lot of scarf with Tatar embroidery special, and first of all, when you used your roots, it has been used in modern dresses and scarf. This is a very popular story. There is a lot of brands on that. The scarf can be used as an accessory to express your national or political or social position. Some Muslim women use hijab just to show their faith, trying to individualize it by color and embroidery related with their own national classical embroidery. A Tatar scarf, so-called. It has a lot of different embroidery, Tatar embroidery. You see, some uses it as just to add to some famous sneakers, you know, and the sports shoes. Some just use embroidery. So national identity is just, you don't have to be too much archaic, because you have to interpret the root basic solutions, because first of all you need to keep the form or the content. So ornaments have different deep meanings and coded messages. As a rule, it tries to keep the national color, and they don't keep up with the content. Sometimes it's just the form. That's everything I'll see. Unfortunately, I rarely meet people who really something that is worth to keep, to promote.
To promote that, you have to create a product that will be on par with the traditional techniques of the artisanship. And we, of course, have these in both Russian and Tatar cultures, and you have to keep track of the current trends. Then the clothing will be prestigious and nice to wear, and so that will increase the interest towards the national culture. And the best brand working with that in Tatarstan is Rubanun, and we all saw how influenced and inspired our moderator was by those designs. And he bought a wonderful item from this collection of this brand, and it was in line with the national traditions and the cultural heritage of the country. And it sparks interest not only in those who know this culture because they are locals for this culture, but it also inspires confidence in this internationally. So this is a bright example, and I wanted to share this to you. If you visited that in Tatarstan, this is the artisanship with a workshop of Burobano, and Burobano keeps true both to the not only to the form, but also to the meaning of the traditional Tatar costume, which I believe is very important and is done on a very professional level. Now, we also have brands like that in other regions of Russia as well as all over the world, but I wanted to focus on Russian brands existing all throughout our country. And to just share this with you, this is a Variso brand, which means heritage, and the goal here is to preserve the heritage And it's not some abstract heritage, really. It's not some AI-generated stuff. It's a redacted imagery of existing Dagestani costumes. Earlier, these patterns would be used on weapons and other items, like pottery, for instance. Not pottery, I'm sorry, but the kitchen utilities. Now, these patterns can be seen on the accessories and hence promote the Dagestani culture. Now, this brand works in official capacity with museums, so it's not somewhere from thin air. This works to promote Dagestani culture in a brand new way. No doubt, everybody knows the Uzbeki textiles, the Uzbekistani fabrics, and the patterns of this country, that are characteristic of this country. It has existed for centuries and has been known globally for years. This one has influenced costumes of many Muslim countries because they were shipped internationally, and Bakhmal and the broidery, they use that and all these patterns. And this heritage of the Uzbekistani people that has gone back centuries gives Uzbekistan a voice globally, because this is used globally in all sorts of collections by high-end brands. Here we see a couple of designers present here, but there is way more of those in Uzbekistan. Also, we see that in Azerbaijan. Those designers work with the ancient culture of Uzbekistan. Everybody knows the Azerbaijani carpets. What some designers do is they transfer these ornaments that were used only on carpets. They transfer them onto to the clothing, and now they use these carpet patterns in clothing. And we also presented this Anara Zakirli brand on the Modest Fashion Week that we've touched upon earlier, and designers work using different techniques. Here, I also wanted to share an interesting reconceptualization of a director of a ethnographic museum of Dagestan. What she does is she uses the colors that are traditional for carpets, for Dagestani carpets, and puts them onto the pictures, and we see that these drawings are impressionist in style, and you can guess that these are based on carpets. There is a number of young designers that interpret that in their own way, using their own approaches, and they hope that this is the way for them to preserve their cultural heritage, using their own means. Tradition is not the worship of worships, but the preservation of fire, as Gustav Mahler has once noted. And I hope that every one of us will preserve our culture, promote it, and do it in accordance with their own agenda and values.
Dear Dilyara, big round of applause again for Dilyara Sadrieva. This is a beautiful connection with, the topic of the talk, talking about Islamic fashion, art, and ornaments. Thank you so much for your fantastic work. To conclude, last but not least, the opinion of Her Excellency Futaim al-Shahi is very important to us. She's the chair of the Fujairah Businesswomen Committee. She's member of the board of directors of the Fujairah Chamber of Commerce. and industry, and she will tell us about the prospects and role of the fashion industry, taking into account her personal experience. Or I don't know, can I say dear Futem? Yes, the floor is yours. Yes.
السلام عليكم معكم عضو مجلس سيدات أعمال.
Good day. My name is Futem Obaid Hassan Al-Sheikh. I am the chairman of the Fujairah Business Women's Committee, member of the board of directors of the Fujairah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and designer. And I used to have a small accessories shop with the products of my own. And I went to a couple of expos in Dubai, and then we wanted to export to Turkey and to Oman. We opened a couple of stores there as well as in Turkey, in Fujairah, and in Dubai. I became a member of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Fujairah. What distinguishes the Muslim women from others is their fashion, and it touches everything, especially what has to do with the handmade clothing items, which differ a lot from which seem to be very simple, but thanks to the color combination and coordination are carriers of a certain meaning and remind us of the world around us. They unite the Islamic and Arab traditions. Women, the entrepreneurs, present their family businesses in our Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a traditional Emirati clothing. That's what they deal with. This is the so-called sarud. Some of them, we, for our part, got our clothing to get marketed globally. And this was helped by a wonderful design that we have. And we participated in a number of international exhibitions. And we were very keen on having an expo in Kazan. Mainly, members of our Chamber of Commerce will participate in the expo in Fujairah, and we hope to bring this expo to Russia. Thank you, to Kazan. No.
We have one guest that we thought couldn't make it, but she made it anyway. Ghalia Al-Fard, could you please come to the stage? Because we don't have a lot of time. Let me introduce her. Because for women at the crossroads of Islamic spirituality and secular reality, it is important that modest fashion is accessible and comfortable while maintaining femininity and elegance. The modest fashion industry has many pros and cons, as various participants have stated. And the following question rises: how can we integrate the arts, the crafts, and creative industries into a cohesive whole, instead of it being a cacophony of growth mindset, co-optation, halal washing, greenwashing, etc. So Ghalia Fard, fashion designer, director general, owner of Ghalia Fard Syrian brand. The floor is yours, and please tell us how key brand forming ideas are shaped.
Hello, in the beginning, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm so pleased to see you all. It's really my pleasure to be with you. And really, I had some sickness early, that's why I wasn't here. But I'm so glad to be with you. In the beginning, I started my boutique in Dubai, which is really, it's a positive and very, the place where we can always start business. It's a healthy environment for work, and it's something that all women would love to start business there. I started in fashion, and that was since 2004. I started my boutique there, and it was really a pleasure to work with all high-end women, starting from like the simple styles to the high-end and wedding dresses. About the Islamic fashion, we have a lot of styles that always about the women, the Muslim woman, the modest styles that is really modern and you know, it's attracting to the women, and latest in the fashion.
And what else would you like to share? Do you want me to ask you questions? I can also, yeah? Okay, we're going to improvise. This is not studied, just so you know.
Sorry, it's just popping up, yeah.
No, it's fine, my dear. We're here together. We're here to celebrate women's rights. We're not here to, you know, to create ceilings, etc.
Yeah.
So, how do you integrate arts, craftsmanship, and you know, and your perspective on modest fashion in your brand? How do you do that? What is your process?
Starting from basic fabric, simple ones,
Yes.
we craft everything from A to Z.
Yes.
We start from a drawing, from a basic
Yes.
sketch, into integrating it into a real live model.
Yeah.
The styles usually, the one I was well known for, and still, the handmade beaded, the crafted.
So the craftsmanship.
The craftsmanship
Yeah.
is our focus.
Yeah. And who do you work with? So what's your process? Do you work with craftswomen, or do you have your team in your studio? Maybe you could tell the people about your process and how you combine modest fashion with craftsmanship. Yeah, but after that, yeah.
We actually hire the women who have like no wage. They are like women working at home. We give them some small jobs that they can do easily, just to give some income to the women who are really in need for that. And also I have my big team. I have my big workshop in Dubai, actually in the same boutique in Al Garhoud. We do everything by hand. We don't use much machines. Everything is done manually, which is giving the work more life and more, you know, femininity. It's like more luxury. You feel the thing made by hand is more luxury. So our basically we do things all by hand.
Yeah. Thoraya has a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, because I am from Dubai, that's why I wanted to know. You said that when you started from Dubai, and it made you, like it's a good market. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me? Thank you.
بدي أحكي بالعربي لأنه من قلبي بيطلع الحكي. Sometimes لما بنحكي بالانجلش بكون هيك الواحد بيكون موتر شوي وتعبان فبيتكركب. So
United Arab Emirates support women in business. Nearly 200 startups get created in UAE by women, and that includes fashion, of course. Fashion is our soul. Fashion is our identity, and it unifies Muslim and Arab cultures. It brings different cultures together, the cultures of different countries, that is, both European and non-European, Arab cultures included. fashion goes from your heart, you know, from the soul. And it's very filled with soul, we might say. So we want to say that this is the most important thing.
And the whole panel discussion, so I really want to thank you. And also for coming, because you didn't feel well. Can I have a big applause for Ghalia? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for attending my show.
Yes, yes. We hope to actually do a panel discussion, but we don't have time, unfortunately. And this is, you know, a forum, so I'm going to skip that part. But if there is someone in the audience that actually really has a poignant question, please raise your hand. And if not, please come to the participants or to us after this session, and then we can discuss it in a, you know, just in a relaxed way here at the forum. Is there anyone that has a question that they want to share, or? No one? Okay, because then we can go to the conclusion. In conclusion, traditionally modesty has evolved into a secular trend, as we heard from various participants. What was once associated with Oriental flavor now fits seamlessly into modern clothing, with the pros and cons that we, you know, heard our participants speak about. Followers of modest fashion are not confined to closed dresses, but there's mini, there's maxi skirts, there's multi-layered ensembles with varying textures, dresses of unique styles and vibrant colors, as well as turtlenecks, tunics, jackets, trousers, and even jeans. All can be effortlessly incorporated into a modest wardrobe. We've had the opportunity to exchange views on Islamic fashion, national motifs, and the use of accessories. It is crucial to support a younger fashion generation and serve as their mentors, right? And empower them, not co-opt their, you know, their brilliance and their efforts, but in fact empower them so that they can grow with brands instead of their ideas being stolen by larger brands who only want, you know, to have access to this growing audience, which, you know, they know have spending power. Preserving cultural heritage and ethno-cultural heritage is essential to promote designers and artisans, as well as to engage with the scientific community, with ethnographers, and to develop new collections. Forums like these are places to meet and leave context for ongoing discussions, which I hope, you know, will happen here today or in the days to come. And we have 2 more days at the forum, which in my opinion should be productive. I thank all the speakers, the experts, and participants of our track for engaging in dialogue and valuable exchange of opinions. However, we didn't have the panel discussion. But let's proceed to the signing of agreements, because we're also here to do business. Let's first do the signing of agreements, and after that also let's have a group photograph, you know, as a nice souvenir. So, without further ado, Dilyara Sadrieva, the Regional Director of the International Nonprofit Organization Council of Modest Fashion for Russia and the CIS, co-founder of the Modest Russia platform, and Miftahova Alsu Rivyeneva, I hope I said it well, the Director of the State Budget... Ah, it's not here? Photo. But can I please, I'll finish and then we'll do the picture, yeah. The budgetary institution, they will sign an agreement. Also, Diana Radigovna and the same Director of the State Budgetary, they will also sign an agreement. So let's have the photograph and then the signing can happen. Thank you so much.
Rajai, thank you so much for your coming, and dear speakers, thank you for coming also and taking part in our session, in our forum. So it's our pleasure to give you a little present and diploma. So thank you so much.